In a few moments, you will see a short demonstration of an examination for discovery. The demonstration is meant to give you some idea of what you can expect on your discovery. Your discovery will no doubt last much longer than this demonstration. If you require more general information about the discovery process, please see the video entitled, "What is an examination for discovery?" The examination for discovery is one of the key elements of case preparation in every personal injury lawsuit. Your examination will serve two main purposes. First, it provides all of the parties with an opportunity to examine the opposing parties in order to find out what evidence they have that is relevant to the issues in the lawsuit. This full exchange of information will help facilitate settlement. Second, if your case proceeds to trial and one of the parties gives evidence which differs from or contradicts the evidence they gave at their discovery, they can be cross-examined on their previous conflicting testimony. You will be prepared for your examination for discovery by meeting with your lawyer in order to go over the documents and other evidence relevant to your case. This review will help refresh your recollection of the relevant events. By the time your lawyer has prepared you for your discovery, you will know what the issues are in your case and what evidence relates to each of those issues. There are a few simple but important rules that you should remember while giving evidence at your discovery. First, don't guess. Restrict your answers to the facts as you know them. If you don't know the answer to a question, then simply say you do not know the answer. Don't feel compelled to come up with an answer if you would have to guess. If you answer a question by giving an estimate, for example, of time, distance, or speed, make sure to say that this is just your best estimate. Listen carefully to the question that is being asked. If you do not understand the question, say so. Ask for it to be repeated or rephrased. Do not answer a question unless you feel confident that you understand it. Keep your answers short and to the point. If a simple yes or no will answer the question, then that is all you should say. If a further explanation is required, then the lawyer will ask another question. It is not up to you as the witness to volunteer information. It is up to the lawyer to ask the necessary questions to get at the relevant information. Once in a while, the other lawyer may ask a question that your lawyer does not feel is appropriate. If that happens, then your lawyer will object to the question and instruct you not to answer it. Perhaps you will see no harm in giving the answer. However, if you answer the questions despite the objection, you will prevent your lawyer from protecting you from improper questions. Following an objection, there may be a brief discussion about whether the question was proper or not. If no agreement is reached, then the lawyers will indicate for the record that the question was refused and your examination will continue. You may be asked questions that you cannot answer on the day of your discovery, but which could be answered with a little additional investigation or by obtaining some additional documents, say from a doctor or an employer. If that is the case, your lawyer may give an undertaking to obtain the additional information or documentation. Let your lawyer deal with undertakings. You should not give an undertaking unless your lawyer tells you that it is okay for you to do so. Please wait for the lawyer to finish the question. Do not talk over the tail end of the question. That way both the question and your answer can be recorded. If you become sore, tired, or emotional and want to take a short recess, just indicate that you need to take a break. If you know that you have limited stamina and are concerned about the length of time you will be sitting and answering questions, discuss this with your lawyer before your discovery. Finally, never argue with the other lawyer. Discoveries can sometimes become heated, but you will not help your case by getting into an argument with the other lawyer. Your lawyer is there to ensure that the rules governing discoveries are followed. Let your lawyer deal with any disruptive conduct by the other counsel. With these rules in mind, please watch the following video and note any questions you have for your lawyer about the discovery process or the discovery that you will be involved in.
Are we ready?
Anytime.
On the record, please. Could you state your name, please?
Karen Collins.
And you're the plaintiff in Superior Court Action 64721.
Yes, I am.
And you've been sworn as a witness today?
I have.
I understand you've also sworn an affidavit of documents. And with your permission, Mr. Masters, I'd like to make that Exhibit 1 on this examination.
That's fine.
What's your date of birth, ma'am?
March 7, 1965.
And your address?
1288 Trenton.
Is that here in Ottawa?
It is.
Can you tell me your level of education?
Post-secondary.
Is that here in Ottawa also?
That's right.
Are you married?
I'm divorced.
Any children?
I have one boy, 7.
At the time of this accident, you had a valid driver's license?
I did, yes.
Have you been involved in any prior accidents or convictions under the Highway Traffic Act?
Don't answer that. That's not relevant.
Why is that?
Well, we're here to talk about driving on a particular day and a particular occasion. Driving on other days and other occasions doesn't relate to any of the issues.
Well, have you been involved in any previous accidents?
Objection.
Well, certainly if your client's medical condition is an issue, I'm entitled to know about previous accidents.
Okay. That's correct. Go ahead.
Yes.
Can you tell me when those previous accidents happened?
About a year ago.
And was that accident here in Ottawa?
It was.
Can you tell me what happened in that accident?
I was at a stop sign at the corner of Carling and Alpine, and I was rear-ended.
Did you suffer any injuries in that accident?
A slight whiplash and sore neck.
Did you make any kind of a claim arising from that accident?
No, I did not.
Other than that accident, have you been involved in any other motor vehicle or other types of accidents?
No, I have not.
No slips and falls or anything of that sort?
Nope.
What was the location of the accident that's the subject matter of this lawsuit?
The corner of Metcalfe and Gloucester.
What vehicle were you driving at the time of that accident?
A 2000 Toyota Corolla.
You owned the vehicle that you were driving at the time of this accident?
I did.
When you bought the vehicle, was it new or used?
It was a used car.
Did you have any mechanical problems with that car
No.
at the time of the accident?
No, I did not.
You need to wait for me to answer the question, ma'am. When was the last time the vehicle was checked prior to this accident?
Approximately a month ago.
A month prior to the accident?
That's right.
Counsel, would you make available the maintenance records with respect to this vehicle prior to this accident?
Yes, I'll undertake to use my best efforts to get any mechanical records that are available.
Thank you. Now, was anyone else in the vehicle with you at the time of this accident?
No, there was not.
Were you wearing your seatbelt at the time of this accident?
I was.
Is that a lap and a shoulder seatbelt?
It was.
Can you describe for me the route that you took from your home to the accident scene?
I was heading down Metcalfe, heading northbound, turning onto Gloucester.
And you were on your way from home?
I was.
And where were you going?
To work.
What time of day was that?
8:15 a.m.
Had you had anything of an alcoholic nature to drink in the 12 hours prior to this accident?
No.
Had you taken any drugs, either prescription or non-prescription?
No.
How did you sleep the night before?
I slept about 9 hours.
Were you familiar with this intersection where the accident took place?
I am. I drive it 5 days a week.
Can you describe the traffic conditions for me just prior to this accident?
It was heavy. It's a standard commute traffic.
Can you describe the weather conditions for me prior to this accident?
It was clear and cold.
Did you have your car stereo on?
I did.
At the time of the accident, were you adjusting the volume or the tuning?
No, I was not.
Do you know what the speed limit is in the on the street where the accident took place?
I think it's 60 kilometers.
And can you estimate for me your speed at the time of this accident?
About 10 kilometers.
Can you describe for me in your own words how this accident took place?
I was stopped at the intersection. My light was red. When my light turned green, I did look to my right. I did see a car approaching, but they were back far enough that I assumed he had time to stop at his red light. So I approached the intersection and started to turn, make a left-hand turn. The car ran the red light and hit me.
When was the first time prior to the impact that you saw the other vehicle?
When I was stopped at the light.
How far away was the other vehicle when you first saw it?
I'd say he was halfway down the street.
Can you estimate that in distance? 50 meters, 20 meters?
Probably 100 meters, I'm just guessing.
Don't guess, please.
How fast was the other vehicle traveling?
That I don't know.
It was moving at the time, though?
It was.
What happened to your vehicle as a result of this collision?
He, as I was turning, he collided in the rear, or the passenger side of my, the right-hand side of the car.
And did the other vehicle strike your vehicle, or did your vehicle strike the other vehicle?
The other vehicle struck me.
And were you moving or stationary at the time of impact?
I was moving.
Are there any repair bills, counsel, that relate to this accident?
Counsel, I've recently obtained some photographs from my client's own insurance company showing the damage to her vehicle. So we can make that exhibit number 2, and I'll provide you with color photocopies after the discovery.
Thank you. Other than that, do you have any other additional damage documentation?
No, I only asked for photographs of the damage, but I will make inquiries and use reasonable efforts to see if there's any other documentation relating to the car damage.
Thank you. Would you produce copies of all of the repair estimates and bills relating to this collision?
Actually, I asked for those as well, but I haven't received them, so I'll give you my undertaking to make a second inquiry for any of the repair estimates or actual repair documents.
Are you aware of any witnesses to this accident?
We haven't got any information about witnesses other than what's in the police investigation report, which you already have.
Prior to this accident, did you have any medical conditions that were giving you any trouble at all?
No.
You never suffered from headaches prior to this accident?
Just the occasional headache, but no.
Did you ever seek medical attention for those headaches?
No.
How about back pain? Did you suffer from any back pain?
I was suffered from lower back pain.
Other than your family doctor, did you see any specialists or anybody else in connection with that back pain?
Not at that time, no.
No, I think counsel's asking you about your medical condition prior to the accident.
So before this accident, did you have problems with your low back?
No.
Did you have any other physical problems prior to this accident?
Just a slight whiplash from the prior motor vehicle, but that only lasted for about a month.
Were you regularly using any medications prior to this accident?
No.
Were you aware of any injuries immediately after this accident?
Back pain, neck pain, whiplash, headaches, frequent headaches.
Okay. When you say back, what part of your back?
My lower back,
On one side or the other, or in the middle?
more or less in the middle.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You're also saying headaches?
Mm-hmm.
You have to say yes.
Yes.
How often do you suffer from headaches now?
Pretty much daily.
And how long do those headaches last?
It depends. I take Tylenol 3, which is being prescribed by my physician.
How did you get to the hospital following the accident?
I had a friend drive me.
Did they take x-rays of you at the hospital?
They did.
Were those x-rays negative?
They were negative.
Other than the Tylenol 3 that's been prescribed to you, is there any other treatment that you're currently receiving for your injuries?
I was attending for physiotherapy.
How long did you attend for physiotherapy?
About 4 months.
And did that help?
It did at first. I was going twice a week. And then I started going once a week, and it helped for a bit, but then the pain proceeded to come back.
As compared to immediately after the accident, is your condition now better, the same, or worse than it was?
I would say it's worse.
You told me you suffer from back pain. How often do you get the back pain?
Pretty much daily. I wake up with back pain.
And you mentioned also a sore neck. Do you still suffer from neck pain?
I do.
And how often do you suffer from neck pain?
I wake up with a sore neck pretty much daily.
I'd like you to turn to tab 6A of your productions. There's a physiotherapy report there. It suggests that you reported a 60% improvement following the accident. Did you say that to your physiotherapist?
I don't recall, but it's...
Well, was it true at the time that you experienced a 60% improvement in your condition?
I did feel better at the time, and we dropped physio down to once a week.
I see from your records that you also went to see a chiropractor for treatment.
I did actually not go to see a chiropractor.
You didn't?
No.
Were you referred to a chiropractor?
I was referred.
And why didn't you go see a chiropractor?
The thought of someone manipulating my back and neck just was too painful to...
Is it your family doctor who recommended that you see a chiropractor?
Yes.
Other than the physiotherapy then, did you receive any other treatment following this accident?
No.
Did you see any other doctors other than the ones you've told me about since this accident?
No.
And at this time, is there any other treatment planned?
No, there's not.
Other than the chiropractic care, has anybody recommended any treatment to you that you've declined to have?
No.
Can you tell me about the activities you were involved in prior to this accident outside of the home?
I regularly cycled. I go to the gym. I used to go to the gym regularly, daily.
You belong to a gym?
I do. Well, I do. My membership's in hold right now.
All right. Were any of these activities affected following the accident?
Just before we leave that, Council, I think the records indicate you were also involved in yoga prior to your accident.
That's right. I was.
How often would you go to yoga prior to this accident?
Twice a week.
Okay. And since the accident, have you continued with these activities?
No, other than the walking.
Tell me about the other activities. Are you telling me you don't cycle anymore at all?
I can't.
And that's been true since the accident?
That's right.
How about yoga?
I've tried yoga too, and I just can't get into the posture, the stretch modes.
Well, what happens when you try to do yoga?
My lower back is extremely painful. My neck is affected.
Has any doctor told you specifically that you should avoid these activities?
Yes.
Who is that?
Dr. Gianchino.
That's your family physician?
Mm-hmm. He suggested I refrain from any physical activity for the time being.
Okay. Counsel, would you undertake to produce any future medical reports that you intend to rely on at trial?
If we intend to rely upon any experts' reports, we'll provide you with copies.
Did your injuries affect your ability to work after this accident?
They have, yes.
Well, why don't you tell me to what extent?
Well, I'm a typist. I sit at a desk for prolonged periods of time, and I can't sit more than an hour at a time. My lower back and my neck and shoulders begin to tighten up and tense.
Did you miss any work as a result of this accident?
I have missed work.
How much work have you missed?
I'd say probably about 20 days.
Counsel, could you provide details relating to the loss of income claim, if there is one?
Yes, I believe there are records in the productions up to about a month ago, but as the case continues, we will give you updated reports and records from both her medical treatment providers and her employer.
Are there any out-of-pocket or special out-of-pocket expenses or special damages other than the loss of income?
Once again, they're in our affidavit of documents in tab 4A to D, I believe, and I undertake to provide you further details as they become available.
Thank you. Subject to the undertakings, those are all of my questions today. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.